Hi, I'm Lou with another episode of My Car Story. Today we're here in the western suburbs of Chicago, and I've got Tim Heywood with me, and he's got, well, the supercar of 1920. Tim, what year, make, and model is this one?
This is a 1920 Packard Twin Six Runabout.
So let's take a look at our featured attractions. So you're saying, Lou, supercar. Well, when you think of 1920, you think basically the Model T, all right? This is a lot more than the Model T. The Model T had a 4-cylinder. This is a 12-cylinder. This is a 2-seat car with a rumble seat. And the horsepower on this?
90
horsepower versus about 22. So if you think of today's modern cars and you've got a 200 horsepower, now you have a 900 horsepower car, that creates the supercar. One thing Tim shared with me is this yoke here has that emblem or that design, and you see that through the rest. Tell me why there's an airplane on this Packard.
Packard produced cars. They produced airplane engines and engines for boats also.
So on this thermometer, you would pull that, pop it, and this would drop back and you pour your water in there. You've got your bar holding. These are running lights.
Correct.
Have you ever hand cranked it?
Yes, it's capable of hand cranked.
Okay. Was it easy or?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay. That's just gorgeous. Now, how long have you had this one?
This car was acquired in 2013.
Let me just show people this right here.
And prior to that, it was in a barn in Michigan since the early 50s, and it was a true barn car, barn type condition car.
How long did the restoration take?
Started in about 2014 and on and off until 2021.
Wow.
Most of the time off on the restoration than on.
And this car was actually chosen to go to Pebble Beach.
That was correct. That was 2021.
So from barn find to Pebble Beach.
A lot of sandpaper and a lot of hours were spent on it.
That's amazing. What got you into Packards?
That's what I'm familiar with. That's what I grew up with, and that's what a lot of the local guys had was Packards, and in my opinion, they're one of the best.
Yeah, your father Dennis has been with me on the channel, Dennis Heywood. We rode in a 1913 Locomobile. Check that out. That was one of the most expensive cars at that time. Plus being a 13, it's a brass era card. By the way, you could see the word Packard here with their octagon as their logo. And you don't see the word Packard anywhere really else on the car.
That right there is air compressor. It runs off the transmission, and that's to inflate your tires on the side of the road.
Wow. We have a rumble seat in this one. As you can see there. Put your hands there. Let's shut that so we'll show them what that looks like. Listen to this too. That's simple, right? And then if I just come to this side, you would step here on the running board, step there, step right in. I like how they have the little chrome pieces. There are spare tire. Obviously there no trunk space. So I like that, the little time period correct lock on the back. The flowing fenders. So tell me a little of the history with a 1920 Packard.
History on the specific car or history of Packard in general?
Let's start with the history on this car.
This car was in a barn, like I said, since the early 1950s in Michigan until it was pulled out, I believe, in 2012.
How did you hear about it?
I called up on another car, and during the conversation with the guy, I was asking him why I was getting rid of it, and he goes into telling me why he bought 6 cars to get the one he wanted. And this was one of the 5 cars that he didn't want, but he had to buy all 6.
Wow. There's that shape again, right there. Gas here.
That's correct.
What is on this side?
That's your air pressure coming in, and then it's your fuel going out.
Gotcha. So this is your gas tank.
The whole thing is the tank.
Yeah, that whole piece. Got it.
So it's a pressurized fuel system.
Mm-hmm.
So to start the car initially, there's a hand pump on the dash.
Let's show them that.
And then you pump that.
Well, let's open the door here, may I?
Yeah.
So as I show the leather on the door
So you
and the seating, go ahead.
So you pump the pump, and then there's an air pressure gauge right there, and you want to get to about 1 to 2 pounds of pressure. And then once the car is running, there's a separate air compressor on the front of the engine that will pressurize the tank and keep the constant pressure in there.
Yeah, let me just show that instrumentation before we get in there. Now you got to think to yourself, I mean, when you think Packard, we got the split windshield there. Obviously the top is up. Running lights?
Correct.
Okay.
Cowl lights.
Cowl lights. So when you think, you know, Packard was known for being a car company that would, you know, have a driver, you know, assist you. So this was some, I'll call it independent individual who wanted the horsepower. And as I understand it, back in the racing days, people will maybe tell me that I'm wrong, but Mr. Enzo Ferrari was not doing so well against Packard 12s, which it said that he decided maybe he needed a 12 in his car. So we've got the clock, obviously oil, the amps. We've talked about the gasoline and the pressure. Tim, what's this? Oh, this is a light for the interior. What's this? Choke?
That's the choke, correct.
Choke. And then you can see ignition on, Packard.
And then on the right-hand side, that's the lights.
The lights.
On the steering column,
Yeah.
you got the spark, advance, and retard, and then you just got a
Now,
throttle.
what does the spark advance retard do?
When you start the car, you want to have it retarded, and then once it's started, you just put it up.
Put it up. And then this,
and that advances and retards the spark on the car.
got it. And this is actually just like pushing the gas pedal.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, so you have down here, it's obviously got the right amount of pedals, but I see an extra pedal. So we've got still clutch,
Clutch, brake,
and then gas is
pedal.
up here.
Correct.
And this is a
That-
place to just keep your foot.
Correct. And then to your right of that, that's the starting button. On the
Okay,
door.
starter button here. Got it. So starter button, place to keep your foot, gas, brake, clutch,
And then handbrake.
handbrake over there. Wow, that would feel, that steering wheel feels great. Let's show them under the hood, shall we? Ho, 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 ho.
So they called this the Twin Six. It's one aluminum crankcase with 2 separate cast iron jugs or blocks and cylinder heads.
So stay there. An aluminum crankcase.
Correct.
So this is aluminum,
Where the silver is, that's
Right.
aluminum.
and this is steel
That's
heads.
Yeah, cast iron.
Cast
block,
iron.
Cast iron removable head.
Overhead valve.
No, inline valve.
Inline valve.
Or, in block valve. This is the exhaust manifold
Oh,
on
careful.
both sides, and then
Yeah.
this is the intake. Intake
Yeah.
and water distribution tube.
Oh wow, does that look beautiful too, doesn't it?
So how this works, this is called a fuelizer right here. This little apparatus, and it's got a spark plug on the other opposite side.
Okay.
Now fuel was pretty inferior back in 1920,
Yeah.
so they wanted to heat the fuel. So that's why the carburetor's stuck in the valley right next to the exhaust manifolds, and then they would bring a little fuel charge up here and then preheat the air going into the manifold also.
Wow. And then this is just a breather.
Yeah, that's your breather.
Okay.
Air was cleaner back then.
And your
And then
Packard.
it's one distributor
ignition.
with 2 separate distributor caps.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So in theory, it's a 12-cylinder engine, but it's
Two separate engines.
two separate engines that share a common crankshaft and common camshaft.
That's great.
And you could reverse these blocks on either side. They're just offset from each other.
Got it. Oil.
That's the oil filler. That's how you check your oil. You
Okay.
you turn that underneath. If it's dripping, then you know you got enough oil.
Okay, got it. And I see we've got a
That's the serial
body.
number.
Yeah, serial number.
You got the engine or steering box. This is the fuse panel behind here. Fuse block
Okay.
hidden away.
Yeah.
And there's another fuse on the other side.
All right. Well, we're gonna fire it on this side, and then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna move it to the other side of this cul-de-sac, and we'll show the light on the other side as well. That block is not moving at all.
It's pretty smooth.
That is not moving at all.
With the 12-cylinder, you're getting every
into it for a second. Can you step on the brakes for a second? There's your brake light.
The exhaust comes out underneath the car.
Oh, underneath. Go ahead, rev it for a second. Okay. We're gonna keep it running. Let's close this side, and we're gonna move it to that side. Okay. Yeah, just. There's your step side here. That little box there. Perfect. That's good. Hop out. I want to see this side of the engine now. Thank you. Curious, what's the little box down here for? Is that to adjust, lube the back brakes or something?
Lube the spring shackles.
Got it. Lube the spring shackles there. There's your step up to go into the rumble seat. You were sharing with me you've only been in the rumble seat one time with your wife, and where was that at?
That was in California, driving along the coast.
Pebble
Beach.
How did that feel?
Well, it was a pretty nice experience.
Yeah, I'd say.
So it's there's individual priming cups per cylinder, so you put fuel in here on a cold morning.
Yep.
And you open it up and dump it in there.
There's that ignition system.
Just one interesting thing on the priming cups,
please.
when I was restoring those, there were 7 individual pieces per priming cup.
Oh, geez.
So to take them apart and clean them and get them all nickeled and fitted back together, that was
wow. That's quite the
that was
adventure.
quite the ordeal.
What do we have here? Is this where you put your oil? The oil was the other side.
No,
so
that's
what is
where
this?
you get check the slack on the timing chain.
Got it. And what's this?
So this is the fuel pump.
Got it.
That's an air compressor that runs off the timing chain.
Yep.
And when the engine's running, that'll put air back into the gas tank. Then you got the generator, water pump, and then starter.
And I noticed there's no plaque.
No, the plaque is on the inside of the firewall in this vintage.
Is that right? Okay, let's fire this one more time. Does the horn work, or is it sometimes it works?
That's intermittent.
Okay, it's intermittent.
It works when it wants to.
I gotcha. Has a mind of its own. I say we take this for a ride.
Sure.
Here we are in the 1920 Packard Twin Six Runabout.
Correct.
And tell me a little bit about the sound that this car is going to make when we take off.
All vintage cars from this era have a unique, distinct sound, and you hear it in old black and white movies, and it's usually caused by the straight cut gears in the transmission. So they always have a distinctive whine to them.
So let's hear that distinctive whine. There we go. And because this thing's got so much horsepower, you can feel the torque and the pull. We've not taken the second window down just so you can hear it even more clearly.
We're pulling in third gear right now.
Oh, it's loving this. Yeah, your car is loving this. Was it more difficult to learn how to drive on this than the other ones because of non-synchronization?
Sometimes you just got to double clutch, and sometimes the gears go right in without any kind of little grinding.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you got to double clutch. But the trick with these early cars is, at least the Packards, get them in third gear or high gear as quick as you can. By the time you're through an intersection, you should already be in high gear.
Like we're right in 1920. That's rolling.
goes, but it's only got two-wheel rear brakes, and you're stopping about 5,500 pounds of metal. So it wasn't made for modern-day driving. And the speeds we just hit back there wasn't really too obtainable in 1920. They didn't have the roads that could pretty much handle a car like this.
Well, to your point, I mean, we had gravel roads back then, which was the norm. Let's listen to that start.
We're pulling from second gear right there.
Yeah.
And now we're in third. First gear is pretty much just like a stump puller gear. And you got to remember, back in that vintage, they had a lot of deep ruts and roads. They needed the torque down low.
Yeah. The wood wheels.
The wood wheels, people always comment about those, but those were in existence back in the Roman days.
Yeah, right.
So by the time it got to the automobile, it was already over 2,000-year-old technology.
Right.
So these modern steel wheels, these are a new invention that we have on modern cars. Up in front, you can see the thermometer. So it's running pretty cool right now. You usually want to be right by the bottom of the circle. Like Lou was saying, in 1920, this was the equivalent of a supercar back then. This had pretty much 3 to 4.5 times the horsepower of pretty much most cars on the road. And it was an expensive car. This car was about $5,000 when a Model T at that time was
Probably 500.
yeah, less than 500.
Yeah, right.
So they didn't make that many of these cars. Well, they made 35,000 Twin Sixes in the production run. I don't know how many they made in the runabout, but it was very few.
Yeah.
It was just an impractical sports car for the day.
Well, the Packard was known as the luxury car, as well as you had a chauffeur.
Correct.
So to have this, two-seater like we're doing right here, that was kind of crazy. Tim, so much fun taking this Packard out for a run in our runabout.
Here, we're going to roll that sign, and now we're in third gear still.
We're going to keep going. I was going to sign out, but let's keep her rolling.
This is the car pulling in third gear from a rolling start. Packard always prided themselves on. You could pull from, let's say, 3 or 5 miles an hour in high gear. So here we are. We're
Under loose.
under loose on the road. Like I said, you gotta plan your stopping in advance with the two-wheel rear brakes.
And the front wheel brakes were not thought of because they're like, how do we get it to turn and stop at the same spot? So that's why they put the brakes in the rear, as I understood it. Somebody can correct me if...
You didn't want to be doing somersaults when you're hitting the brakes was the
Yeah, they kind of thought it was like a horse. They didn't want the front brakes and buck you right off. Tim, so much fun. What a great time. Thank you for taking me out of this historical car. What a great time. Thanks so much for being on my car story.
No problem. Have a good one.
Thank you.